Good morning, this is Christine. It's January 22nd, 2015. It's early in the morning. I just got up a little bit ago. I don't know why I'm having so many dreams. I don't normally have this many, and if I do, they're not like spiritually minded, they're just goofy ones. But lately I've just been having these ones, so I'm going to share another one that I had last night. I was shown what a spiritual life or spiritual walk was like. I want to call them angels or guides or something like that, but they were with me. And they were telling me a person's walk, like when they come into human form, when a soul, when you get born and you start your walk on this earth as a human being. So, first of all, and pretend this is a roller coaster, okay? You're at like a fair or amusement park type thing. First of all, it comes down, and the reason it comes down is because you come down from heaven towards the earth. So the roller coaster first starts down, and then it goes up, and going up is when you're born. Okay, so first of all, this is heaven, and this is your soul coming down. This is you getting born right here, and you start going up, and you start on your spiritual walk. Okay, the reason you're going up is because it's kind of happy. Whenever you're walking towards heaven, you're happy. There's happiness there. If you think about the light, heaven, clouds, things like that, there's always happiness. It's only when you go down that you go into darkness and depression. So as long as you're going up, you're on your spiritual walk towards heaven, and that's what makes you happy. But then when you get to the top, you go back down, and the way I was shown is it came down, and the roller coaster went around in a circle, and then the person or the guide with me, because the person and I, we were standing down here, like at the amusement park, and I was looking at this roller coaster. It was metal colored, it was like a regular roller coaster you'd see at Cedar Point or something like that. So then they said the roller coaster comes down, and this is the lies. This is when you're in darkness, you come back down to darkness and depression. This is when you're in the lies. And sometimes the roller coaster just swings back and forth. It doesn't go anywhere. And when you're in the lies, that's when you're telling yourself, that you're not a good person, or you're not worthwhile, nobody cares about you, stuff like that. These are the lies, okay? And people get stuck in them. But then eventually, what happens is you keep going up, and then you do a loop-de-loop on your roller coaster. And this loop-de-loop is when you come down and then back up. It flips your world upside down, is what they told me. And this is like having the serpent head being turned around, where the serpent head was at one time pointing down, towards the darkness and depression, and now you flipped it upside down, and it's now facing upward towards the mind of Christ. So you literally do a 180, and instead of being worldly carnal, you're now more spiritually minded. So that you do, first of all, you go up towards heaven, towards happiness, and then you end up falling down into a depression, into some kind of darkness. This is when you're being told all the lies. And some people get stuck in there and just go back and forth. But then eventually you come out and you do a loop-de-loop, which is the 180. And then you get flipped upside down. So you're no longer looking down or depressed or anything like that. You're no longer in the darkest part. But you get the serpent head flipped upside down. 180. And then the roller coaster ride just settles out and it evens out. So you're no longer on highs and lows and moodiness back and forth. You're just on an even keel now. You just ride in between heaven and earth. You're just even keeled. But this right here is a spiritual walk from when we're born through our life, and then you just even out once you make peace and you come to the middle. So that's what I was shown. And then after this, and my dream changed, and I all of a sudden started feeling myself flying through a forest, and there were tall trees, there was grass underneath, there was a path. Okay, so there was a path. Now picture me flying overhead, and there were trees, all over, and even in the distance there were trees, and then there was all grass. Okay, so this is grass. This is a path. This is trees. Trees, a path, and grass. And I'm flying overhead. Now the trees, some of the branches are in the way of the path, and I'm flying overhead. So sometimes I have to duck, and I'm not flying fast, I'm flying slow actually. So I can actually like dodge branches, go through branches, like if two branches are in the way, I just have to kind of slow down and lift the top one or push the bottom one down and then slide through the two branches. But I was flying through the air, through the trees, and what I was seeing, and again I had my guide or my angel with me, what I was seeing was like a baby Jesus was in one of the branches, but he was paper mache. So he looked like an infant in a manger, but he was paper mache, which is, the paper and the plaster, and then you just put it over a form. It wasn't a real baby. And then down here on the path, I saw a Virgin Mary woman laying in the grass. The grass was kind of yellow and green, so it wasn't like a dark, healthy green. It was more like a yellow, like a wheat color, yellow, green type of grass. I don't know if it was a wheat field. I don't know if it was just the fall or maybe even the summer where the grass gets kind of yellow if it gets burned, if it doesn't have enough water. I don't know, but the grass was more of a yellowish green color. It wasn't like a dark green flesh. It wasn't like a dark green carpet type of. But there was a woman laying here also in the grass, because sometimes this was a path, like just a walking path of dirt that I was flying over, and sometimes it was grass. And in this case, the Virgin Mary person was laying in the grass, but again, she was paper mache. And what I was told or shown, is what I realized out of this is that not to see these people are not paper, as in the book. Okay, Jesus and Mary, they're not in the book, in the Bible. They're actually real people. But I was flying over them and they were paper mache, meaning that a lot of people see them as paper. They only see them in the book, but they're actually real people. So this was a trap, not to get trapped into thinking that Jesus and Mary were only on paper, were only in the book, were only in the Bible. That realize that they're not just paper mache, they're actually real people. So I kept flying, and excuse me, and I was holding on to a stick. It was about like from my wrist to my elbow, and I was holding it like a baby, like cradling it like a baby in my right arm. So I had my right arm folded towards my chest, holding or cradling this piece of wood. It was a stick, and it was kind of thick. It was maybe about an inch thick. It was like a tree branch that had been cut off of a tree, and the outside of it had white bark on it, with like some peelings, some bark peelings on it. So it wasn't a piece of wood that had its bark taken off of it. It actually had white bark on it with some bark peelings on it. And I was holding on to the stick, and it was like the stick was the rod and thy staff that comfort me. It was a stick. I don't want to say it had power, but it was kind of like I was holding it, and that's what was helping me to fly, or making me to fly. I don't know. It was kind of weird. That's how I felt. So I would fly, and I would go up. Like if there was a tree branch that I had to go through, then I would have to go down, maybe fly underneath it, go up, fly over it, go through, fly between two branches. But each time I would, when I would move through the air, and again, I was flying slow. I was not zooming through the forest. How like sometimes you see on TV shows where people are riding a broom and they're just zipping through. It wasn't anything like that. I was just flying normal. I wasn't on anything. It was like laying on my stomach. I was just flying in midair, and I was looking down at everything I was flying over, and it didn't scare me at all that I was up in the air. And yeah, I was just holding on, like cradling the stick of wood. I wasn't grasping it really tight or really hard or anything, being fearful of, if I lost it, I'd fall or something like that. And keep in mind, my angel, or my guide, or whatever you want to call him, was with me the whole time. So, but it was just weird that I was flying over or through the trees. And actually, now that I think about it, in scripture, trees are people. I don't know, maybe I'm flying through people. I don't know. It's just a weird dream again. I don't know if there's anything to it. I just figured I'd share it. So, hope everyone has a great day, and take care, and God bless, and I'll talk to you again soon. Okay, bye-bye.